Shalom, shalom, all praises be to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua, B'Shem Kakadash, Tabon to the elders and apostles, great Muslim at Ruel, shalom to the elect, shalom. Yeah, man, great, destruction and famine is coming to Babylon the Great and rest of the world, This is a form of judgment, great famine meaning a shortage or lack of something, man. It can be multiple things, yeah. A shortage of food, water, product, services, energy, jobs, okay? And a lot of people are going to be suffering from things that they took for granted, man, okay? This is a form of judgment, man, and, economic famine, man. Economic, what's the word? Starvation. Anyways, this scripture, this is Ezekiel 5:15. It says, "So it shall be a reproach and a taunt and instruction and an astonishment unto the nations that are round about thee, when I shall execute judgments in thee in anger and in fury and in furious rebukes. I, the Lord Yahweh, have spoken it." Yeah, yeah. You become, as NFT says, you become an object of mockery and taunting and horror, man. Yeah, just like in was it Isaiah 14:12, one of the verses, the other nations shall say, "Is this the man that caused the earth to tremble?" So people are going to be mocking you and pointing fingers at you. Oh, the mighty America, these mighty high IQ so-called white people, Europeans. Look at them suffering now. Look what disaster that they brought upon themselves. Yeah, and the Lord's going to be the initiator of that judgment, man, based upon your wickedness, Esau's wickedness. Yeah, which obviously the whole world is going to be affected, but Babylon the Great is going to obviously get, according to the scriptures, going to get the ultimate judgment, being destroyed and made a lake of fire. Okay. The book of Second Peter 3 and Revelations 14, Revelation 17 too. Yeah, man. So the Lord's gonna give you his furious rebukes, man. Verse 16, it says, "When I shall send upon them the evil arrows of famine." Yeah. So different versions and angles, yeah, and projectiles of famines, man. Yeah. Famines from all angles. Yeah. Famines from the crop, the farm, yeah, the middleman, the production system, manufacturing, imports, exports, goods and services coming in and out. Yeah. Famine in jobs. Yeah. Famine in the workforce. Um, People quitting the police force and the military force. Yeah, complaining, "Oh, we're not getting paid enough for this. I didn't sign up for this. America's going to hell. F the president." Yeah, that's what's going to be happening, man. They showed you in the movie, was it Civil War? Okay. Great judgments is happening, man. Different versions of famine is going to happen. Not just food and water and services, which is vital, it's vital for your um, um, survival, you of the flesh. But, we're going to, the elect, Lord willing, we're going to rely on Yahweh Shemishai for our survival, man. Yeah. It's going to be survival of the fittest versus the survival of the spirit, man. Okay. But to keep on the topic, the famine, "When I shall send upon them the evil arrows of famine, which shall be for their destruction." Yeah, so resources. The major talk is obviously the Straits of Hormuz and all this domino effect that it's going to cause. That's going to most likely take effect in the summer times. So it's going to be a scorching summer, and I'm not referring to just the heat, but the actual famine that it's going to create. It's going to be a scorching, burning summer, man. Yeah. Okay. Things taking longer than it used to. Empty shelves. Energy prices skyrocketing. Things are going to be rationed. Duration and time limits or um, quantity caps. Certain amount you can take for yourself and stuff like that. And which I will send to destroy you, and I will increase the famine upon you, and will break your staff of bread. You see, your bread, yeah, food production, services. People are no longer going to be desiring to trade in the American dollar, yeah, because it's too weak. Yeah, people are not going to be invested in America anymore. Yeah, well, in Revelations 18, it talks about the merchandising as well of Babylon. Okay. Um, Matthew 24:6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, which is this not happening before our eyes? Babylon the Great, America, State of Israel, yeah, China, Russia, Iran, yeah, which is causing famine. Okay, yeah, Strait of Hormuz. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. You see, so this turmoil and fighting and this war is going to cause what? And spiritually, it's funny because what is spiritual is the first thing that it mentions, which I'm going to read now, of this conflict, these wars and conflicts amongst the nations is causing what? And there shall be famines. You see, so that's what happens during war. You know, you know, sanctions, blockades. Okay, diversions, delays, destructions. These causes famines. Okay, and there shall be famines and pestilences, diseases, viruses, and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. Yeah, the tip of the iceberg. Things will intensify. The fire will rise. Things will only get worse. Revelation 6 and 5, the third seal, famine. And it says, and when he had opened the third seal, I heard the third beast say, come and see. And I beheld, and lo, a black horse. And he, that's, and black typically means, you know, depression, destruction, or something negative, man. And lo, a black horse, and he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand, balances, scales. And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny, and see thou hurt not the oil and the wine. Let me roll over to the right in the NLT so you can get a clear understanding. It says, verse 6, and I heard a voice from among the four living beasts say, a loaf of wheat bread or 3 loaves of barley will cost a day's pay, and don't waste for olive oil and the wine. So in other words, a lot of work production is gonna be decaying. Yeah, people gonna be losing their jobs, and guess what? Also, people are gonna be working a lot harder just to achieve so little. Just like the World War, I think World War II, I believe. People walking around with barrels of cash, like thousands and thousands of pounds just to get a loaf of bread. So that's coming back, but more so in a in a digital way, because everything is credit digital base, you know, rationed money, UBI, universal basic income, you know. So that's it really there. Um, Ecclesiastes 12 verse 3, and it says, "In a day when it's like a, in a day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, yeah, the market, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders, the workers, cease because they are few. There's few workers, yeah, and those that look out of a window be darkened." Yeah, those economic forecasting, Wall Street and stuff like that. People, analyzing and predicting the stock market, and stuff like that. They're gonna see that there's no hope. Yeah, they're looking at the window and it's darkened. Yeah, like there's no hope. There's a incoming crash, disaster. Yeah, it's gonna be a great economic depression, worse than 2008. Economic collapse. Yeah, economic drought, famine, and the doors shall be shut in the streets. Yes, lockdowns, L downs, curfews, uh, police and military patrols. Yeah, high crime rates because of desperation and poverty. Yeah, people trying to board up their homes. When the sound of the grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of a bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. Yeah, so entertainment is going to cease. Okay, a lot of people are going to be in a depressive state. And reading NLT there, it says, "Remember him before the door to life's opportunities close and the sound of work fades. Now you rise at the first chirping of the birds, but then all their sounds will grow faint." Okay, that's it really. And that, yeah, famine and judgment is coming, man. Loss of jobs, loss of food, loss of medicine, water, productions and services, loss of jobs, yeah, prices skyrocketing, yeah. So that's what's coming upon the earth, you know. Anyways, with that, I hope you've been edified. All praise be to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bashim Kakadash, the bonus of the elders and apostles, great most and well. Shalom to the hopeful elect. Shalom.